أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده. All praises belongs to Allah, and peace and blessings be upon the last and the final messenger Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Today the date is September 9th. The time is 10:49 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on my side of the world, where I am right now, Eastern Daylight Time. We have today with us Mahboob Rahman. He is going through his diploma in DevOps and Cloud Advancement, RQF Level 4, EduQual Level 4, for his exam. The examination topic is Infrastructure as a Code and Observability for Automated Cloud Infrastructure on GCP and Azure. It has three key learning objectives. This is the Level 4 exam, not a Level 6 exam. Level 6 exams topics are heavier. Level 5 slightly heavier. Level 4 lighter. And level 3 lightest, right? So this is like it's covering implement infrastructure as a code using Terraform and Plumi, and then set up Prometheus and Grafana and use basically Fluent and Elastic Elk for centralized log management and incident detection. You will be given 15 minimum, maximum up to 25 minutes for your presentation. Once the presentation is done, it will be followed up with Q&A, going through multiple questions within 30 to 40 minutes time. The whole thing should be wrapped up within 1 hour or 1 hour, 15 minutes. Maximum it can go to 1 hour and 30 minutes, depending on the topic and the severity. This is not level 6 exam, it's a level 4. So it's going to be slightly difficult than level 3, but way easier than level 6 and level 5, right? Because the scope of is very different. Okay. Do you have any questions, Mahboob Rahman, before we start? Okay, you may share your screen. Open your yes. Okay, you may share your screen, please.
Is my screen
Okay,
visible?
my voice is a bit husky, so if you can't understand anything that I'm saying, you may ask me, because I have a chest congestion. You may ask me, can you please repeat that question, and I'll be able to do so as well, inshallah. Okay. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Let me start the timer. Hold on. You may start the presentation now. I cannot hear you.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes, now I can hear you. Okay.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sallallahu
My
alaihi
name
wasallam.
is Mahboob Rahman. Currently, I am studying for Diploma in DevOps and Cloud Advancement, EduQual Level 4 at Nafi International College. Today, my presentation is on Infrastructure as Code and Observability for Automated Cloud Infrastructure on GCP and Azure, using tools like Terraform, Pulumi, Prometheus, Grafana, Fluentd, and ELK style. At the end of this presentation, you will be having a clear understanding how IAC and observability work together to make cloud system faster, more reliable, and more secure. Here is the outline of my presentation. We will start with the basics of IAC, what is IAC and why IAC is important, and the different tools available in the industry. Then we'll take a closer look at Terraform and Pulumi, comparing their strength and use cases, and how Terraform create infra at scale. Next, we will deep dive into observability, exploring its pillar and the essential observability pillars, and the essential observability tools such as Prometheus, Grafana, ELK, and Fluentd, and how they make together to make our observability architecture. After that, I will walk you through incident flow demonstration, and we will wrap up with the conclusion. So, what is IAC? Infrastructure as Code means creating and managing your infrastructure using code and configuration file instead of doing it manually. You treat your server, your networks, and your cloud resources same as you treat your application code. Why we need IAC? To truly appreciate IAC, we have to take a step back and look at the world before IAC. Imagine a few years back, if you needed a new server or a database, the process was entirely manual. You had to log into a cloud console, click through a dozen menus, fill out form, configure network settings. This wasn't just slow, it was incredibly prone to a human error. Replicating environment was a nightmare. Tracking changes were nearly impossible. Collaboration was difficult. Roll back a high-stake gamble. This was the word ISC came to change, and it has changed by bringing different benefits. First, automation. ISC enables automatic provisioning, configuring, and managing infrastructure. Now we are doing this all with ISC, so it means reduce manual effort, means reduce potential errors. Version control. ISC configuration are stored in version control system like Git, allowing us to track changes and also make it easier to collaborate. And in case of any issue, we can roll back quickly. Environment are easy to duplicate. Now we having a consistent environments across development, testing, and production. And also we can repeat the development quickly. Save cost. Everything that runs in production is also present in the code base. Developers can quickly remove unnecessary services during code checkout, which means reduce cost. You can quickly go to production. IAC integrates with CI/CD, matches the DevOps method. Because your infrastructure is fully automated, it becomes easy to deploy a new module to production. Diverse ISC tools. We divided ISC tools to two categories. First, infrastructure provisioning tools like Terraform, Pulumi, AWS CloudFormation, Azure Resource Manager, and Google Cloud Deployment Manager. These tools are like building the house. They create server, network, database, and storage. Second type is configuration management tool like Ansible, Puppet, and Chef. These tools are like these are the tools that set up the house, like installing softwares and applying updates and modifying system settings. Let's compare two of the most powerful and popular IAC tools, Terraform and Pulumi. While both help you manage your infrastructure resources, but they approach the problem differently. Terraform. Terraform uses custom domain-specific language called HCL, which use directive approach. On the other hand, Pulumi lets you write in general purpose programming language like TypeScript, Python, Java, Go, and C++. For reusability, Terraform relies on module system. On the other hand, Pulumi gives you full functionality of a programming language like loop, functions, and object-oriented programming. For testing, Terraform depends on external tools like TerraTest. On the other hand, Pulumi lets you write unit tests in native languages. Learning curve. Learning-wise, Pulumi is easier for software engineers because it supports general purpose programming language and software engineers are already using it. On the other hand, Terraform is easier for the ops team. Ecosystem. Terraform has a huge provider registry considering it's old and mature. On the other hand, Pulumi is growing fast but smaller. For tooling system, Terraform works through CLI and HCL editor. On the other hand, Pulumi gives you full IDE and debugging support. Again, benefit for the developer. If we're talking about ISC tools, how can we forget state management? It's the most important thing. And both tools manage state in a similar way. They support local and remote storage management and also allow you to lock your state management file, which is very, very important. Okay, so both tools support multi-cloud environment. Terraform uses provider plugins to create infrastructure across Azure, GCP, AWS, and more. On the other hand, Pulumi achieved the same with SDKs. This means you can write one set of code and deploy infrastructure across multiple providers consistently. How Terraform creates infra at scale. Terraform make it very simple to create and manage infrastructure at scale. The process starts with writing. Developer write configuration file using Terraform code. They can also use variables, modules, and functions to make the code reusable. Plus, the community provides a public module registry, so teams don't always have to start from scratch. Next come plan. Terraform generate a plan where you can preview the changes and compare the desired state with the current state. This step makes sure you know exactly what will happen before anything changes. Then we move to apply. Terraform takes the plan and makes API call to the cloud providers. In our case, Azure and Google Cloud and many others. It can create, update, and delete resources automatically. Finally, the infrastructure is fully provisioned and ready to use. And because Terraform integrates with CI/CD pipeline and version control, it works smoothly for teams even in large multi-cloud environment. So that was our first main topic. Now we'll deep dive into observability. What is observability? Observability refers to the ability of understanding system inner health by looking at its output through metrics, logs, and traces. Observability is really crucial for ensuring application operates as expected, providing visibility into system health and performance metrics. It enables organizations to respond promptly to application failures while maintaining service level agreements with customers. Continuous feedback from observability tools help in proactive issue resolution, enhancing overall system reliability. If we are not having observability, the issue will be detected very late and we will not be having a root cause visibility, which result in longer downtime, security risk, reduced developer confidence. But with observability, we can improve our reliability, efficient troubleshooting, optimize performance, data-driven decision-making become easier, decrease downtime, and improve MTTR, better user experience, and of course, reduce operational costs. So we achieve observability through its pillars, and observability has three pillars: metrics, logs, and traces. Metrics are numbers that measure the health of your system. Example, CPU usage, memory consumption, error rates. Logs are detailed records of events that happened in your system. For example, specific user logged in at specific time or payment failed due to timeout. Traces is a journey of a request as it travels through different parts of your system. Example, when a user clicks buy, the trace show how the request moved through the app server, database, and payment service. Metric collection and visualization through Prometheus and Grafana. Prometheus collect metrics by scraping target on specified intervals and storing time series data. It supports rules, alerts, and query language called PromQL. Then Grafana turns those metrics into dashboards and alerts enable real-time visibility and better team decisioning. Log management through Fluentd and ELK-Stack. Logs are equally important. Fluentd collects logs from many sources, clean them, and send them to storage. ELK-Stack, Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana allows storing, searching, and visualization of log. Together, they centralize and simplify log analysis. Unified observability. The combination of metrics, logs, and traces give us unified observability. When an issue occurs, metrics show a spike, log identify the root cause, traces show where the request failed, and then alert notify the team instantly. This helps team respond faster, reduce MTTR, and keep system reliable. Incident management. Now I will show you if we have a if we set up the observability system, how it will help us in case of any issue occur. So imagine these are 5 steps. So imagine you are running an online store. Suddenly, customer complains the website is very slow and they can't check out. So on first step, monitoring and detecting. The monitoring tools notice checkout is failing and the site is slow. On second step is alert. An alert is sent to the support team. Checkout service is down. So the right people get notified quickly. Step 3 is investigation. So check our observability data. Here comes the tools that we use, logs. It shows database error and trace is pinpoint the overload database. Now we see the impact. Customer can't buy and we are losing money. So step 4 is recommend a fix. In our case, a quick solution, we restart the database. For the long term, we increase database capacity and fix the buggy code which cause overload. Finally, step 5 is resolve and prevent. The website is back online. The shop is happening again. We add alerts. Now we will add smart alerts, improve dashboards, and fix memory leaks in the code so that this issue doesn't happen again. So metric helps spot the problem, log explain what happened, and traces show exactly where it broke. Together, they guide us from problem to fix to prevention. Conclusion. So IAC make it easy to set up and manage your infrastructure by using automation, version control, and teamwork. Observability help keep system running smoothly by showing exactly how they are behaving. Together, they help DevOps team build cloud infrastructure that's secure, reliable, and ready to go. Thank you.
Okay. Good presentation. Just give me 1 minute. Let me update the results. So you did your course from Jamia Sharfia? Is that the same Jamia Sharfia for Maulana Hakim Akhtar, where he used to go?
I guess they're from Karachi. Hakim.
Okay. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So let's start the Q&A session. Why IAC infrastructure as a code, is considered a key component of DevOps? Why is that?
So because in DevOps, we make sure that everything from development to operation happens in automation. So if we are not using IIC, so infrastructure provisioning, which is part of CI, it's not automated. We are using everything manually, and it makes errors, increase error rate, and also increase the time in case. So these are the reason.
Okay.
Have to.
So essentially, IAC is the practice of managing infrastructure code through, rather than manual processes, it allows automation, consistency, repeatability, reliability, integration with CI/CD pipeline. It reduces human error and accelerates deployments, right? That's how you have to provide the answer, because this is very important when you go for the interviews. Have you started doing the labs? Al-Razak labs,
Yes.
right? So within the Al-Razak labs, we do mention how, what kind of questions potential questions, interviewer will ask you. So there's a ton of DevOps labs there, tons of DevOps labs. The whole QB astronaut and the golden QB astronaut labs are there, right? And the Linux open source. If you do those labs properly, that will prepare you for the interview in a much, much better fashion. We will be discontinuing this live exam because now everything will go towards the new exam, which is the new system that we are rolling out, right? You will soon know you are the legacy student, I would say, is going through this, but because things are changing. Okay, let me open my window. Where's my window? Okay. All right, so answers needs to be a little bit better. Okay. So if you compare Terraform and Plumi in terms of language support and community adoption, compare them. Which one is better?
So result depends on your team. If your team are developer and they know how to code, for them it's good to use Pulumi because it's for general purpose programming languages, different languages which software engineers are already using it. For them, working on Terraform is a new thing. A new thing is always a bit difficult. But for the ops team, they don't know the programming. For them, it's better to go with HCL because it's simple and also it's used declarative approach, which make it more easier.
Okay. Which one are you comfortable in terms of using it?
Uh,
Maybe.
I only try Terraform, but I guess if I use Pulumi, it will be much better
Okay, because
since
you're
we know the
because
Python programming.
you're very well in Python. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What is a configuration drift?
Configuration drift means uh, when you configure when you configure IAC infrastructure code, and there are many teams are working on it, there is chance that one team deploy different changes and another team deploy different changes. So this will make conflict in the code.
So is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a bad thing because at same time maybe one person is pushing the code and on the same time other person is also pushing the code, so it will conflict. We have the best practices where we can tackle that.
So let me ask you, if we are given a mandate for a configuration, we have to follow, but we make a very slight change in the mandate, a slight line, a code line is changed, which creates a configuration drift. What happens over the years if that goes unnoticed? What happens?
Okay, so configuration changes if it's not in the notice, so it means you are writing everything and you're noticing, but this thing is not noticed. Slowly it will make an issue later part because it's
It will
not
make
in
an
the.
issue. Why would, so why would it make an issue? It will become like something bigger, like because we deviating from the straight path that we were supposed to follow?
Yes. So the purpose of using ISC tools was to track everything. And when we miss out something, so the main purpose, we leave it behind. And there is a chance if it means that we are not tackling everything properly. If it happens one time, it means it will happen again and again. And if
So
it's happening
that
again,
one configuration drift, the line of codes that went unnoticed, no one was able to pick it up. Some people knew there was a problem, but they never reported. Over time, this is a straight line, right? You see that straight line, right? Bismillah. So this is a straight line, right? It goes like this. So if I make a slight change, you know, will this over time, will this go like this or up, right?
yeah.
What do you call this? What do you call this?
We say small changes make the difference. So here small change will eventually make a big change. And the main purpose which we intend to do with ISC, it's, is behind now.
Is now behind, right? So, you're coming from a madrasa, Allah gave us Quran and Hadith, but then we were supposed to follow the Sahaba, the companions, you know, and then someone came in and make some changes. A configuration drift started happening. And now we see people, everyone on different, you know, like scales. And they all claim this is the original configuration. But is that the original configuration? Everyone knows that is not the original configuration. The original configuration dates back to the Quran and Sunnah. But we left it, right? So over the years, these big scholars came in and they said, no, listen to me. I'm Taqi Usmani. Listen to me. I'm Jamil Jamili. Listen to me. I'm Shamili, whatever, right? And they started making these changes. And over the years, the changes become like this. See this? This is it. So now we have a bigger problem because we don't know what to do. If we go back to the original configuration, that's the only way to go back, but no one is going back because they have taken these ones who made these changes, you know, as the gold standard. But that is not the gold standard, right? The configuration has changed, right? The configuration has changed significantly. This was the question I had. They said, our so and so, wakaza, 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 like so and so, like said this and this and this and this. And I said, like, what are you talking about? Don't we have to do this? What are you talking about? Right? So it's the same standard, it's the same thing. So whatever you're learning in DevOps is not something new, right? These are all social sciences that were given to us, but we're not following them, right? But in organization, if you make a mistake, over time, this will become a bigger issue, and then the line, instead of going straight, it goes up. See, it goes up, right? It's going up and up and up and up, right? Over here, sorry, up and up. So that difference that you see here, right? That difference is a vulnerability, is a non-compliance, because you were supposed to be in the straight line, but your line is now going up, and this difference that you have here is non-compliance. Keep this in mind. This is very important for you, right? Because when you go into the industry, you have to make sure that you follow the line, follow the standards, follow the configuration standards, right? Don't make something up. It's going to blow up on your face. So, what are the three pillars of observability and how do they interconnect?
So the three pillars of observabilities are metrics, logs, and traces. So metric, first area is tell us something is happening, something is happened. We see that on the dashboards. And like for example CPU usage or memory usage or error rate, and then we know something is wrong, so then we'll go to the logs. Logs has a detailed record of events that happen. So in the logs it will show you what exactly happened, why this matrix shows the memory usage or whatever alerts is giving us. So from log we'll go to it, from log we'll get the details. And because since we are that it's microservices, the requests go through different services. For that we need to traces. So traces will exactly tell us where the problem occurs. So metric tell
You,
us something
you
is
are
wrong.
you are from Jhelum, right?
Yes.
So long ago, you know, there was a great scholar, Haq Nawaz Jangvi, right? He was from Jhelum, right?
No, they were from Jung.
Where is Jung? Jung and Jhelum are both different?
No, they are different. Jhelum is between Islamabad and Lahore,
Ah, okay, okay, okay.
nearly.
Okay, okay, okay. That's Jhelum. Okay, okay. I read his books. Those are pretty good books.
Yeah.
That was long ago. is that your place where like there's a person, I don't know why he calls himself engineer. Engineer,
Yes.
is he from Jhelum?
Yeah, he's from Jhelum. Yes.
Okay, okay. Why does he use his name engineer? I think he contacted me on Facebook long ago, right? Asking about, there's a Facebook message from him. Facebook message came from him from his profile, something. Can't remember. Was it Facebook, WhatsApp? He said, I'm Engineer Mirza. And he was asking about math blocks, that we provide to our kids, right? Math
Yes.
blocks, mathematics. And so it was a very weird question. So I asked him, like, why do you have the name engineer? And like, you know, he was not able to answer that. He didn't answer that question. Okay, so why is Prometheus often chosen for monitoring cloud native infrastructure?
So, so since for monitoring, we had there are three pillars like we already speak: metrics, logs, and traces. So Prometheus help us for detecting metrics from these different targets on given intervals. It also supports alert, and it's use PromQL language, query language for searching as well. So the purpose that we are having for observability, for monitoring, it fulfill that. That's why we use Prometheus.
So what kind of data does it use, Prometheus?
Time series data. We choose time series data.
So you have to mention Prometheus offers time series data
Uh, uh,
collection. I'm looking at your presentation, powerful querying with PromQL. That's what it uses, PromQL. It's a lightweight design, pull-based matrix,
yes.
you have to visualize, you're giving me answers in an academic manner. Give me answers as if you're going for an interview, job interview, right? That's what you have to do. Okay. All right. Next 5 questions. Um, how does, okay, so let's take off some gloves, right? How would you implement a multi-cloud deployment using Terraform and Azure, for Azure and GCP while ensuring code reuse?
So for reusability, Terraform use its module system and templates. So it helps us to use Terraform on single code for different cloud environments, for GCP, for Azure, and for AWS. So for example, if we are configuring VPC on AWS, we'll use a VPC module. And if we are provisioning a VM on Azure, we'll use a VM module. And similar way on AWS. For storage, if we are using storage from GCP, we'll use a module. So that's how it helps us to at similar time, at same time, use similar one code and for the different cloud across cloud environments.
Okay. In the observability, explain why a lack of traceability can increase mean time to resolution, mean time, for the resolution. MTTR.
Okay, so since we are using microservices, different services request goes to different services. So logs tell us what time where the problem happened. But since it's microservices, it can't go through our different services. So here traces help us to know where exactly the problem happened. If we are not knowing, if we're not implementing traces, so from logs we'll know the problem occurred, and this is the problem. But where occur will not be numbing, and this will result in increased MTTR.
How many labs have you done for the Al Razak?
I was not consistent because of some reason. I start performing labs a month ago, and I performed Linux labs, Bash labs, and Podman labs, and some of the Docker labs.
Get doing the labs. Very important for you.
Yes.
Okay. Tons of labs out there, tons and tons of labs. So get them done because that's where you will be able to learn and implement. There are labs covering each and every question I'm asking you. Each and every question, you know. I'm going to show you today AI ops is very different, right? So things are changing and I'm going to show you some of the things that will open your eyes what you have to do, right? So the DevOps, Lazard part 2, part 1, DevSysOps, and Lazard part 2. Okay, so let me open this one. Okay, what are the trade-offs, between using Elk Stack and managed cloud logging services? What are the trade-offs? Go ahead. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you repeat your
Yes, I can hear you
question?
now. Yes.
Can you repeat your question?
What are the trade-offs between using Elk Stack and managed cloud logging services like Azure Monitor or GCP logging?
Okay. So Elk Stack is open source and also is cloud agnostic. So it's help us, do observability, log management from different cloud environments. It's cloud agnostic. On the other hand, if you use, cloud native, so it will be difficult to track other cloud observability, other cloud logs. And
Which one?
yeah, elk is is old and mature. It's also give us facility to index logs and make it is very advanced in searching capability. So and logs generated so frequently, if we are not using it, and if we are using it cloud native services, it will cost us a lot.
So which one is better? Is it Elk or from an operational perspective, is Elk easier to manage versus is cloud logging easier to manage?
It depends. If you are tied with the one cloud, so it's better to use that cloud for the logging as well. But if you are, your environment is on different multi-cloud, so it's better to use Elk.
No. I'm asking you from an operational perspective, which is easier to manage? Okay, let me rephrase this question. When you install Elk, you run it on your own, right? Whatever the case is. So you're running it on your own server. Your engineers have to manage it, etc., etc. Versus, cloud logging, it's all in the cloud. Which one is easier to manage?
Of course, cloud logging is much easier than Elk
Okay.
Stack.
So cloud logging is easier to manage because you don't have to do anything. Everything is done by them at
Quickly.
the back end. You just have to make sure that your logs are there, right? Now, from a which one, give me one drawback, which is the most common if you go towards the cloud login versus using it on Elk.
So drawback of using cloud native logging, first is costly. Second,
Yeah, I mean, costly. Okay, go on. What else is there?
secondly, because it's tied with one cloud, and if in case you are going to multi-cloud, so it will be difficult with cloud native
So what do you
tool.
call this? One cloud versus multi-cloud. What do you call this? There's a sentence for that.
Cloud native and cloud agnostic.
No. Vendor lock-in. We call it
Vendor lock.
vendor lock-in. You go to one scholar and one scholar only, and you're locked in. But if you go to
Yeah.
others, you say, oh, this is different. This is different.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Vendor.
So you right now have a vendor lock-in because you went to Jamia Sharfia. It's vendor. They say, oh, listen to us. Khalas, like, don't listen to anyone else. Right? That's the case, right?
No, they aren't like that.
They're not like that? Okay. Well, then this
No.
is good.
Yeah.
There is no vendor
But
lock-in.
they are not,
Because
yeah, they're
you
not
have to
that strict.
understand a couple of things. When you are working in an organization, you must be open to work with everyone, right? And you need to make sure that you are not locked with someone because that brings in financial risks and operational risks, right? Similarly, when you're talking to scholars and whatnot, you have to make sure that you talk and listen to all the scholars of the four mazahib we have, right? Hanafi, Shafi, Maliki, Hanbali, right? And even the Salafis. So you have to go and talk to them, understand their point of view, study, uh, and make your own decision, right? As I said, the example of the line, the line. The line is very important. We have to be straight here, straight line. Like so, straight line. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. In one riwayah is sirat, in the other is zira, right? So, but the meaning is the same, right? Okay. All right. So last question, then we are done, inshallah. So there's a healthcare startup, right? It runs microservices across GCP and Azure. And you given an example, there was latency and this and that and whatnot. I mean, the customer is not able to. So I'm going to use that same example. So latency spikes occur randomly. How would you diagnose this issue using the tools mentioned in your presentation, Prometheus, Grafana, Plumi, all of those things, right? What would you do? Give me 5 steps. Walk me through. What would you do?
Okay. So, because when we have set up the observability system, we also set up the threshold and alerting system as well. If it cross the threshold, in this case, it will give you us a alert, and when it triggers the alert, so we'll know something is happened. So the alert will, of course, we attach the dashboard with some of the alerting, some of the tools, for example, Slack, emails, or SMS. So it will trigger the alert, and the team that had to be notified, they will be notified. Now they will look at the logs. From logs, they will get the detail, because in logs everything is recorded. From they will get the detail why is this happening. And then in the next step, traces, if it's happening in microservices, so traces will also help exactly where this problem occur. So then the team will resolve the issue, and because of what reason, what misconfiguration this error occur, we will tackle that and make sure that doesn't happen again, and our app will
The
start
answer is
working.
right, but when you're going for the interview, again, it's an academic answer. You have to work on your interview skills. You have to mention, looking at the diagram I have, use Prometheus to monitor resource level matrix. We mentioned CPU, GPU, memory, network, everything. Correlate latency matrix, with traces, with open telemetry, Jagger, whatever you're using, right? Analyze logs in Fluent, D, and ELK, right, that you have for error spikes during latency events, like you can see what's happening. Then correlate, normalize the events across cloud using Grafana, dashboards with multi-cloud data sources. Finally, if you found that bottleneck, use IAC to scale services automatically, right? This is how you have to answer when you're going for an interview. What I just explained to you is the same process that I taught you in the SIEM, security information event monitoring, because all the action happens in the SIEM. Operational matrices, security matrices. I can ask a question regarding this in a security perspective as well. How do you isolate an issue happening? in real time. This is how you do it. The only difference is rather than looking at the latency matrices, you will look into, other matrices like what services are being consumed a lot, what services are being compromised, what um, vulnerabilities were not patched. You look at the change management data, stuff like that. All of this now is being done by AI. So that give you as an engineer more time to decide what needs to be done, right? That's what needs to be done. Okay, well, mashallah, exam is over. Uh, how was your exam?
Alhamdulillah, good. You
Mashallah.
make me feel easier.
Okay, that's good.
Alhamdulillah.
Mashallah. I'm here to assist everyone. I'm not here to take anyone down unless and until they make a very stupid mistake. Then it's a separate story, right? They're taking themselves down. As an examiner, my sister son is coming for the exam. I had to recuse myself and said I can't take his exam because I'm his uncle. I can't do that. Mamu. But if I do it, I would be much more stricter with him as compared to other students. So don't allow me to take his exam. First of all, ethically it's wrong. Secondly, if I take it and there would have been some arrangement to be allowed, I would have, skinned him alive, I would say, just like a Yaucha, right? Would do to a human being. Like, it's going to be a very tough exam. I'm just using an analogy over here. There's no one being skinned alive or something like that. Okay. All right. So your presentation, you scored 21.5 out of 25, 86%. In your Q&A, you secured 22 out of 25, which is 88%. Your final score came out to be 87%. You passed it with very, very good marks, mashallah. Okay. So you completed that, mashallah, with very good thing. Now, here is my recommendation for you. Go and look at Al Razak labs. These are the labs that we have given it to you. Al Razak Part 2 labs. Very important. More and more are coming, so you will see more. So expand all. You will see Domain 5, Red Hat, open source. You will see some of them, not all of them, right? Then skill Kubernetes orchestration, very important. Golden QB astronaut exams, very important. There are certain more coming in, security and stuff like that. But again, this is Al Razak Labs Part 2 DevOps. So DevOps has a different labs. Part 2 Al Razak AI Ops has different one, right? So you will see all of those labs going in, right? So my recommendation to you is go and focus in getting the labs done, because when you get the labs done, you'll have much more better confidence in terms of passing those interviews, right? Inshallah. If your goal is to apply for the jobs and get the resume from us, we will not give you the resume until you complete your labs, both part one and part two. Okay? So that's very important. So you have to focus on getting those labs done. That's the most important thing. Okay? Now, this is my recommendation for you. So go, pay attention, and get the job done, inshallah. Okay. Ask your parents to make dua for me, special dua for me. Allahumma inni as'aluka shahadatan fil masjid nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam wa ummi wa abbi wa Shaykh Muhammad. Right. This is my dua. Say Allahumma ameen. Right.
Amin,
Do
ya
you
Rabbi.
have any questions for me?
No, thank you.
Okay.
For a long time, I wanted to talk to you. Alhamdulillah, that day came. So I was really, really excited. I'm very inspired with your uh, looking at things. You look at things different angle. This really inspired me. Uh,
This is not my anger. I'm a very
Alhamdulillah.
strict person. You don't know me. I'm a very, very strict person. People are scared of me. In my family, in my brothers and sisters, everyone. Because they know when they come to me, I will measure them as per the very strict rules I have, right? But at the same time, I'm always there to help everyone. As I said, I'm not even taking exam of my own sister's, son. No one will know who he is, but Allah knows, right? So the integrity in Islam is very important. If you don't have that integrity, then you are compromised, right? So what we say is what we have to do, right? This is the most important thing. I could have passed my people left and right and say, okay, I'm going to pass you, I'm going to pass this and that and what. No, right? So if it's a relationship like this, I can't do that. So I had to recuse myself, said no. And even if I take it, I will certainly fail him because I will hold him uh, accountable to a very, very high standard. So don't allow him to sit in front of me. Look, Mahboob or Rahman, right? You have a lot of potential. Focus on getting the things done. Let me tell you something. In Saudi Arabia, 2030, more than 1 million jobs are coming in. In DevOps, in which fields these jobs are coming? Let me show you. These are the fields. AI, ML, already part of AI ops. Cloud and big data, right? 5G, 6G communication, cyber security. This is what you have done, cloud and big data, right? Okay. Data science, BI, data engineering, visualization. You already know in Al Razak, I've already covered all of those things. Synthetic media. These are the new specializations that we are offering. This comes in the digital and intelligence power. The second is defense and security power. This is different, right? Industrial and manufacturing power. This is different. There are 36 sectors. All of these sectors have thousands and thousands and thousands of jobs. This is not coming from me. This is not coming from me. This is coming directly from the Vision 2030 plan, right? That we are conversing with them, right? So we are working with the Saudi investors and whatnot. So this is what they have provided. They said, like, these are the jobs we're looking for people. So a time will come that you will not find people, doing odd jobs and whatnot. So Middle East is a great place for you to be. I'm going to show you something. मैं तुम्हें एक चीज दिखाता हूँ, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. ठीक है. सो मैं घर में आई एम गोइंग टू कन्वर्स टू यू इन योर ओन लैंग्वेज नाउ. सो मैं घर में घास काटता हूँ, ठीक है ना. तो हर 3 दिन 4 दिन के बाद घास काटनी पड़ती है. घास बड़ी हो जाती है माशाल्लाह. फ्रंट यार्ड बड़ा है, बैक यार्ड बहुत बड़ा है, सब कुछ है, ठीक है ना. बहुत मुश्किल, टाइम लगता है. तो मेरा बेटा ने कहा कि भाई ऑटोमेशन ऑटोमेशन आप पढ़ाते हैं, वो ड्रोन्स एंड ऑटोमेशन सिस्टम के ऊपर मैं लाइडार्स के ऊपर लैब्स बना रहा था. अल रज़ाक लैब्स ऑन लाइडार.
जी
How we can use LiDAR technology in drones to attack. These are for defense customers, right? And he was sitting with me because when I work, he sits with me. उसको बहुत अच्छा लगता है. He just comes and sits with me and says, "Baba, मुझे बताएं क्या हो रहा है." So I showed him, this is LiDAR technology, drones and autonomous systems. हम कैसे बना रहे हैं, क्या कर रहे हैं, ये drones कैसे जाके enemy को जाके मार सकता है. So we have to test it out, etc., etc., right? सऊदी अरेबिया $70 बिलियन सालाना खर्च कर रहा है वेपन्स बनाने में. इट्स हाईएस्ट. अगर तुम देखोगे तो सऊदी अरेबिया बहुत पैसा लगा रहा है. दे वांट टू डेवलप देमसेल्व्स. सो मैंने उसको दिखाया तो उसने मुझे कहा, बाबा आप इतनी ज़बरदस्त चीज़ें आप बना रहे हैं, ड्रोन्स, ऑटोनोमस सिस्टम्स, ये वो, लाइडार वाला लॉन मोअर ले लें, आपको घास नहीं काटनी पड़ेगी, ठीक है ना. सो आई बॉट माई सेल्फ अ लॉन मोअर. तो मैं वीडियो दिखाता हूँ. छोटी सी मशीन है, ये लेकर आया, सारी घास उसने काट दी, खुद ही जाके चार्ज होती है, सारे काम करती है. देखो ये है.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम वरहमतुल्लाह. उसामा, जैसे मैं तुमको बता रहा था कि ये देखो मशीन सारी घास काट कट कर रही है. मेरा जो यार्ड है ना वो काफी बड़ा है. ये फ्रंट का यार्ड अलग है, ये बैक यार्ड काफी बड़ा है, ठीक है ना. तो उसमें अब ये बहुत सारे दरख्त पौधे सब लगे हुए, अंगूर इधर लगे हुए, सेब, ये सब कुछ ना. अब इसको घास काटनी है, मेरे पास टाइम तो नहीं होता. अब देखो ये लाइन में, देखो बिल्कुल लाइन से घास काटता चला जा रहा है.
देखो ये लाइन से घास काट रहा है, ठीक है ना.
जी
अच्छा, जब इसको चार्ज होना होता है, व्हेन ही हैज टू चार्ज, वो जाके वहाँ खड़ा हो जाता है, वापस बोलता है 15% चार्ज है, खुद ही जाके खड़ा होता है, खुद ही जाके खड़ा होके अपने आप को चार्ज करता है. बड़ा ज़बरदस्त भाई, ठीक है. मेरे बच्चे ने स्केड्यूल लगाया, सुबह 6 बजे जो है ना मैं नमाज़ पढ़ता हूँ, क्योंकि अब फजर देर से हो रही है ना, सर्दियाँ आ रही हैं. तो उसने कहा 6 बजे काम शुरू कर दो, ठीक है ना. तो उसका नाम, मेरे बच्चे ने नाम, अच्छा मैं नाम चीज़ों के बड़े अच्छे रखता हूँ. दिस इज़ वन ऑफ द थिंग्स दैट अल्लाह ताला ने आदम अलैहिस्सलाम को दी. व्हेन इन इब्न
जी
कसीर when Allah brought Adam alayhi salam, he said कि भाई फरिश्तों को बोले इन चीज़ों के नाम बताओ. They showed him things. We don't know what those things are. We don't even have to know. हमारे लिए ज़रूरी नहीं. भाई क्या दिखाया हमें क्या पता. तो बोला इसका नाम बताओ. उसने कहा भाई हमें तो वही नाम पता है, वही नॉलेज है जो आपने हमें दी है, इससे ज़्यादा हमारे पास नहीं है. बिकॉज एंजल्स दे डोंट नो एनीथिंग. जो उनको बता दिए वो करते हैं. अल्लाह ने इब्राहिम आदम अलैहिस्सलाम से पूछा, आदम सलाम के नाम बताए. So one of the Imam Kasir says like one of the things and Qadi Ayad and all the great classical scholars they say अल्लाह ताला ने इंसान को ये तौफीक ये वो दिया है, लिंग्विस्टिक चीज़ दी है कि he can name things, right? He can name things. ये है, ये है, ये दरख्त है. अब तुम फरिश्ते ने अगर कभी दरख्त देखा ही नहीं, तुम बोलोगे क्या है, बोलेगा मुझे नहीं मालूम. इंसान को बोलोगे, बोलेगा दरख्त है. नाम रख लिया ना उसका, दरख्त है. किसी ने रखा होगा ना दरख्त नाम. सब बोल रहे हैं दरख्त है भाई. ठीक है. अल्लाह ताला ने कुरान में दरख्त, शजर, ठीक है, आसमान, फलक, कमर, ये सब चीज़ें जो हैं, सब चीज़ें क्या हैं? दीज आर द साइंस, राइट, फॉर द बिलीवर्स टू पे अटेंशन. तो मैंने इसका नाम रखा ऑटोमाटा, बोबाट. ठीक है ना. तो मेरे बच्चे बड़े खुश हुए. उन्होंने कहा कि यार क्या ज़बरदस्त नाम रखते हैं आप. ठीक है. मैंने कहा भाई मेरे कोई कमाल नहीं है, मैं जस्ट थिंक एंड फनी फनी नाम. सो मेरे बेटे ने कहा कि भाई मेरे क्लास में सबके बाबा, किसी के बाबा ऐसे होते ही नहीं कि मजाक भी करें, ये भी करें, और ना इतनी अच्छी चीज़ें भी पढ़ाएं, सब कुछ करें. तो मैंने कहा से अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, दिस इज़ ऑल द थिंग्स फ्रॉम अल्लाह सुब्हानहू व तआला. आई हैव नथिंग टू पार्टिसिपेट इन. दिस इज़ ऑल द फजल ऑफ अल्लाह. सो ये पीछे काम कर रहा है. ये वीडियो मैंने 2 दिन 3 दिन पहले बनाई थी. वो सारी घास काट कर चुका है. फ्रंट पे भी कर रहा है. पड़ोसी को भी बोला, उसने कहा यार वो बूढ़े ईसाई है, बूढ़े 2 घर हैं, दोनों में ईसाई रहते हैं. उन्होंने कहा हम बूढ़े हैं, हमारी घास कोई नहीं काटता. ठीक है ना. तो तुम ही काटते हो, तो इसको बोलो ये काट दे. मैंने कहा हाँ इसको लगा देता हूँ. कभी मेरा बेटा चला कि काट देता, कभी मैं काट देता हूँ उनकी घास. हाँ ठीक है, कर लेंगे, कोई मसला नहीं. सो सऊदीया के अंदर, कमिंग बैक टू द पॉइंट, सऊदीया के अंदर जितनी जॉब्स हैं ऑटोमेशन पे जा रही हैं. क्लीनिंग जॉब्स, ये जॉब्स, घास कट करना, सफाई करना, ये करना, वो करना, ऑल रोबोट्स. But this is opening new avenue and new channels for the people to go and find work in other areas. So automation will bring in automation. देखो, you need to learn automation. You need to learn AI. It's a very simple system. मैं इसको अभी खोल के ना चेक भी करूँगा. इसमें ऊपर लिनक्स चल रही है, मैंने वो भी देख लिया. मैंने कनेक्ट किया, इसको नेटवर्क पे आया, नेटवर्क से आके मैंने इसकी आईपी को हिट किया एंड आई स्टार्टेड रिकॉनेसेंस करने. देखा चाइनीज़ कंपनी बना रही है, लिनक्स चल रही है, माइक्रो लिनक्स चल रही है ऊपर, और माइक्रो पाइथन चल रही है. वो अंदर जाके बैठा, 10 लाइनें ऊपर कोड चल रहा है खाली. दैट्स इट. लाइडार का अपना ओपन लाइब्रेरीज हैं, सब कुछ है. दिस इज व्हाट दे डूइंग, बिकॉज दिस इज एग्जैक्टली व्हाट आई टीच. यू कैन बिल्ड अप दीज थिंग्स. यू कैन बिल्ड अप स्मार्ट ड्रोन्स, स्मार्ट टेक्नोलॉजी, design missile defense system and whatnot, right? So these are the things where you have to understand how you can use AI into doing all the things. So जो मैंने जो पहले लॉन मोवर लिया था वो $400 का था. वो 10 साल चला, ख़त्म हो गया. रेमिंगटन का, अमेरिकन कंपनी है जो लॉन मोवर्स बनाती है. ये मैंने $800 के लिए, 5 साल की वारंटी भी है. ठीक है ना. हर चीज़ उसकी है. मुझे घास नहीं काटनी, मुझे बिजली का बिल नहीं है मेरा, मतलब कि बिजली का बहुत हल्का बिल है, कुछ भी नहीं है. खुद ही काटता है, सुबह शाम काम करता है, सब कुछ करता है. ठीक है ना. टेक्नोलॉजी इज चेंजिंग अवर लाइव्स. सो यू हैव टू लर्न दीज थिंग्स. यू इफ़ यू गो देयर एंड इफ़ यू नो अरबी, अरबी आती है, बोल सकते हो अच्छे तरीके से, सो यू हैव अ मच बेटर ऑप्शन. द सऊदी इन्वेस्टर्स वर सेइंग कि हमें हमारी 50 मिलियन की पॉपुलेशन है. 25 मिलियन सऊदी है, 25 मिलियन अजम है. अरब एंड अजम, राइट. अरब कैन ओनली बी सऊदी, राइट. Everyone else is Ajam, like Masari या Kuwaiti or whatever, right? So there's only one Saudi, right? That's the Arab. So उसने कहा कि भाई ये 25 मिलियन जो है ये तो काम नहीं कर रहे. We push them, we do all of those things. So you have to train 5 लाख इनको ट्रेन करना है. But we need 5 लाख, Ajams. This is where you come in. So if you go with Al Razak experience and everything and say, I've done all of these things and I'm a QB certified person and I have completed the diploma and I know and pass all the labs and everything, you'll be able to go and secure the job. Minimum job कहाँ से शुरू होती है? 10,000 Saudi Riyal per month starting. It's not bad actually, it's pretty good, right? If you have AI ops and if you have done, drones, autonomous system ki specialization or some, you just specializations, these are the specializations. For each specialization, they are paying top dollar. बहुत ज़्यादा पैसे दे रहे हैं, right? So अगर तुमने specialization की भी है, they're paying you very very high because that's the things that we are training, right? So तुमने green इसमें किया हुआ है, ESG, smart cities, renewable operations, इसकी jobs अलग हैं. Desalination and water, इसका अलग मसला है, right? पूरी दुनिया में अब पानी का मसला आ रहा है, इसकी jobs अलग हैं. Environmental and climate tech, carbon capture, green hydrogen, geoengineering, इसकी jobs अलग हैं. Smart energy systems, renewable smart grids, nuclear fusion. We are developing labs. There are more than 5 million labs that I've developed, right? It covers each and every area. मैंने सिर्फ इसकी labs करने के लिए 3D printer, 4D printer मंगाया, उस पर काम किया मैंने. और फिर मैंने देखा कि इसके ऊपर मुझे क्या क्या बना, राइट? एज जॉब रिक्वायरमेंट्स क्या आ रही है, किस तरह से आ रहा है. अभी मैंने ब्रेन कंप्यूटर इंटरफेस का BCI की चीज़ें मंगाई हैं. इट वाज वेरी एक्सपेंसिव. ब्रेन कंप्यूटर इंटरफेस इज एक्सट्रीमली एक्सपेंसिव. ये क्रिस्पर की मशीन्स मंगवा रहा हूँ मैं. जिनोमिक्स, अगर तुम्हें जेनेटिक एडिटिंग करनी है, जो भी करना है, राइट? सो दीज आर द जॉब्स. सो जो हमारे पेयरसन का डिप्लोमा कर रहे हैं, असेसमेंट टाइप, ये जिससे मैं बता रहा हूँ ना, ये अनाउंसमेंट होने वाली है. असेसमेंट टाइप क्या है? असाइनमेंट्स. पेयरसन में सिर्फ असाइनमेंट्स हैं. एजुकॉल नो असाइनमेंट्स. मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चन नो, इसमें यस. अल रज़ाक पार्ट 1 लैब्स, पार्ट 2 लैब्स, जॉब बेस्ड लैब्स. ड्यूलिंगो का एग्जाम आ रहा है, यस, एग्जाम इज कमिंग. इंग्लिश एग्जाम आ रहा है. सो अगर तुम ड्यूल डिप्लोमा कर रहे हो, यू डोंट हैव टू गो थ्रू दिस एग्जाम. बट इफ यू डूइंग अ सिंगल डिप्लोमा, देन यू हैव टू गो थ्रू एजुकॉल, देन यू हैव टू गो टू ड्यूलिंगो या आइल्स का एग्जाम देना पड़ेगा. पेयरसन में जरूरत नहीं है, देयर इज नो नीड, राइट? ड्यूल डिप्लोमा में तुम्हें करना पड़ेगा बिकॉज व्हेन यू गो आउटसाइड दे नीड सम काइंड ऑफ असेसमेंट फ्रॉम यू. क्या किया भाई, क्या करना चाहते हो, राइट? सो good news, Pearson, BTech and HND in business, computing and technologies will soon be offered online all over Pakistan. So हमें इजाज़त मिल गई है पाकिस्तान में ऑनलाइन पढ़ाने की. तो जिसको ड्यूल डिप्लोमा करना है, मैंने AIOps कर लिया, DevOps कर लिया, ये मुझे अब पेयरसन भी करना है, तो वो घर से बैठ के पढ़ सकते हैं. तो तुम JLM से बैठ के पढ़ सकते हो. लाइव क्लासेस होंगी, कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ लाइव एंड रिकॉर्डेड क्लासेस. बट वी हैव ओनली बीन अलाउड टू डू दिस इन पाकिस्तान for Pakistani students, not globally. There is a process we have to go through, बड़ा slow process है, ठीक है ना? You're going through that process. या physically आप सऊदीया में जो हम जगह खोल रहे हैं, that is physical, and physical भी है और globally सऊदीया के अंदर, मतलब कि पूरा nationally पूरा सऊदीया के अंदर we will teach, right? So complete the labs, get the labs done, spend your time doing the labs more and more and more. That will prepare you for the future, inshallah. ओके, चलो, जज़ाकल्लाह खैर. इंशाल्लाह फिर आप सब लोगों से मुलाकात होगी. सुब्हानक अल्लाहुम्मा बिहम्दिका अशहदु अल्ला इलाहा इल्ला अंता अस्तगफिरुका व अतूबु इलैक.